Hello everybody, this is Dr. Ihab El Madhoun. I'm a senior nephrologist, general physician, manager, educator, and also to some extent entrepreneur. Today in this podcast we're going to discuss an important topic which is making people thinking about it all over the world, talking about the vaccine. I'm not going to talk about the vaccine from the general prospect, but I'm going to talk about how people, especially patients, should consider thinking about the vaccine. Being a nephrologist, my interest is patients with kidney diseases, varieties of different illnesses affecting the kidneys and systemic health. So we deal with a significant proportion of the society through hospitals, medical care, and those patients usually are very vulnerable for illnesses including COVID-19. It is becoming very interesting for the public media as well as scientific media to discuss the vaccine, different varieties of the vaccine, possible and potential side effects of the vaccine, the protective effect of the vaccine available now in the market, and what could happen if a patient taken a vaccine. Unfortunately, there's a lot of junk materials in the media, and this is, I think, has affected the benefit of the vaccine and the campaign for the vaccine very negatively. Now, in general, patients, when they have a weak immune system, they become more vulnerable getting varieties of diseases and illnesses, including viral, bacterial, and sometimes fungal and rare diseases. What has been proven to be the case is with COVID-19 that it can spread quickly, and when it affects people, can be very dangerous disease. The statistics all over the world indicating how bad this disease and how easily sometimes people can get infected with this disease. Now, what is important to think about when considering any medical treatment, including vaccines, are the benefits as well as risks. Vaccine, like any other medications or any other vaccines, has beneficial effect and also has potential side effect. I would like people who are listening for this podcast, hopefully by the end of this podcast, will have another thinking about whether it's suitable for them to take the vaccine or not, as far as it is indicated and recommended by their physicians or doctors. What is important for any patient is that when it comes for making a decision about accepting medical treatment is to understand what could be the benefits, what could be the risks. And in the modern healthcare nowadays, is rarely to find something which has a very black and white type of benefit risks, because for everything there are potential side effects. The vaccine is one of those things, and patients in general, especially patients with chronic kidney diseases or sometimes acute kidney diseases, they were required to be on medications, having regular testing, follow-up, and monitoring for their illnesses over a period of time. As the disease is still spreading very badly throughout the world, then those patients are still at risk of getting infected with this disease, COVID-19. There are many studies done to validate those newly emerging vaccines, and generally speaking, the major side effect profile of the vaccine is not very high at all, even including the different varieties, not particularly one part of those vaccines. So considering that part and the important benefit of the vaccine in reducing the risk of having a bad disease, patients and the public as well, they need to consider how much is beneficial for them to accept taking the vaccine once it is recommended or indicated against the potential risk of getting COVID-19 disease and possibly affected very badly with the disease with high mortality rate. As I said, there is nothing black and white. People should make their informed decision based on very solid evidence. Now we know that evidence might not be very mature at this stage because it is a relatively new disease, as well the vaccines are newly manufactured, but nevertheless people should look for the most available evidence in making their informed decision. I would like to recommend as well for patients to avoid listening for non-specialized medical information sources, to use the social media in a very useful way, to propagate evidence-based type of information rather than narrated as well ad hoc type of messages, because this is very important in managing any disease, and particularly such a very widely spread disease like COVID-19. The other important point is that for patients with chronic kidney disease, they should refer any queries to their own doctors, physicians, medical professional person, rather than relying solely and completely on non-specialized people. This is very important to build up the understanding and the take of the vaccine in the community, and consequently increasing the community immunity against the disease. And remember, taking the vaccine once it is recommended for you or indicated for you, you are helping yourself as well as helping the community. The vaccine might have some side effects. As I said, the major side effect rate is very low so far, which is very encouraging for newly emerging vaccines considered to be manufactured within a remarkable short period of time based on very advanced technology. People should admire these type of achievements in supporting them. And again, if people decided not to take the vaccine, that's fine. They should consider also taking seriously other protective mechanisms, but they should be responsible about what could be the consequences as well of not taking the vaccine. If somebody decided to take an informed decision, it is absolutely understood. Nevertheless, it is still recommended to go through a very well-validated medical literature and opinion through their physicians. Definitely, in this podcast, we are not commercializing any particular vaccine. What is important for me, and I felt I'm really having some sort of responsibility to pass this message for the kidney patients, is that they need to be fully aware how to make an informed decision about accepting the vaccine or not. Anyway, coming towards the end of this short podcast, I wish all the safety as well as goodwill for all our patients. Remember, health is a very precious thing, and please look after yourself, look after your communities and families. Thank you, and hopefully we'll meet again soon.